All right. Last thing, Gregory Wallace in the chat asked this. This goes back to our Tennessee discussion from yesterday, where they added the quote unquote talent fee, 10% surcharge to tickets to pay the players. As a consumer, should I be okay with athletic department increasing ticket prices in order to pay athletes? Seems like late stage capitalism. No, Gregory, it seems like capitalism stage capitalism. Like dictionary, like I don't know exactly what late stage capitalism is. I know what capitalism is because I took microeconomics, and they have a cost that is going up. Their overhead is rising, so they need to make more money, so they're raising prices. Now, here's the other part where capitalism comes in. You don't have to be okay with that. You can choose as the consumer to not pay it. And that doesn't mean you can choose to not pay the 10% and still buy the ticket. You can choose to not buy the ticket and vote with your wallet and say, this is not okay to me. And I'll give you an example. There was a great donut shop where I lived, and the donuts were amazing. They're so freaking good. It just closed. And I can tell you exactly why it closed. Because they charge $4 a donut. And I am convinced, I believe wholeheartedly, that $4 a donut probably barely covered their costs. Like they were probably barely scraping by, which is why they went out of business. But $4 is too much for a donut. Like that, it is past my limit of what I will pay for a donut. I will not pay more than, I'm guessing $2.50 is probably where I'm at on a donut. So that's my choice as the consumer. And I think a lot of other consumers in that same market made that choice and said, as great as your donuts are, we won't pay $4 for them. And that is the same decision you have to make here. Do you want to keep watching Tennessee football in person? Because if you do, you'll pay what they ask, or you don't. Because they have a fairly significant line item on their budget that is being added next year that they have to cover somehow. Now, I would agree with you if you say, well, don't they get this TV money? Don't they already get ticket money? Can't they just reallocate the money they already have? They sure can. They're choosing to tack it onto you, and you have to decide what to do about it.
I know the show's winding down. We're already in an hour, but can I do like a 40-second food rant? Because like I'm
grab ass time. It's grab ass time, Ari. Go ahead.
The thing, because we and I talked about this in the car on the way to the Florida game. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
But here is my take on this. I'm a big boy. I've gained a lot of weight. I'm trying to lose it. I've been around the block. I've eaten. And the thing I will say is that anytime I amp something up, or there's hype around a restaurant or something, like I go to a place and 9 times out of 10, it does not live up to the hype in my head.
I'm going to tell you about Roback. You see this beautiful little dog on my shoulder and on Ari's shoulder. The best hoodies, polos, Q-zips, shorts, joggers. The new material on the joggers feels like heaven on your legs. Heaven. So you go to Roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com. Use the code Andy. You get 20% off your first purchase. I'm telling you right now, you will look great. You will feel great. The performance hoodies, I love them. I got a bunch. My daughter has now stolen 4 of them, but that's okay because I've still got 3 more. It's probably bad that she has more than me now, but it's okay. Maybe I'll steal them back someday. Roback. RHOBACK.com. Use the code Andy, 20% off your first order. Hoodies, polos, Q-zips, shorts, joggers, you name it, they got it. And it is the most comfortable clothing in the world.
I do think that, like, in the world of fast food, outside of Wendy's, of course, and in other...
Saucy Nugs are the best deal going.
Yeah, I mean, those are amazing. But fast casual places, a lot of dreck in restaurants, right? Like there's a lot of bad food in restaurants. So for me, if you actually think that this donut was elite, and you know for a fact that it probably costs twice as much as what you're accustomed to paying for a donut to make this donut, then to me, the $1.50 extra from your threshold is well worth the price to get a better donut and to support a business who's actually making good food. Instead, we're left with Dunkin' Donuts and all the other gas station donuts that we have because people are accustomed to paying for something that is actually cheap and crappy rather than paying what it should cost for something good. And it sucks. And that's why there's so many shitty restaurants out there.
But I will point out, you can't make a donut that much better. Like, you can't make a donut $1.50 better. That's the problem. There's a certain ceiling on what you can make a certain thing. Like, fried chicken's another example of this. Like, fried chicken is one of those where you could make the best fried chicken in the world, but it's not going to be that much better than what I could get at the grocery store or what I could get at a chain place. And it just can't be
Donuts,
better
right?
enough.
Like, I think that the difference between a gas station or grocery store donut and like a voodoo donut place that like has
Is presentation.
But I also think the taste is much better. Like, I don't know if I agree with the fact that a donut is a donut. But if that's how you feel,
a donut isn't a donut. There are good donuts and bad donuts. But I'm telling you right now, you can't charge double. It doesn't work. The market won't accept it. You will accept it, but most people won't.
Double is drastic, right? Because it is double. $2.50 to $4 is almost double. But for the extra $1.50, like, I'm at the point in my life where I'll pay the extra $1.50 to get the thing that's better. And like, I actually like, and this isn't just a donut thing. This is like a pizza thing. 80% of pizza restaurants are crappy. Like, it's just the way it is. There's no such thing as really bad pizza because pizza's great. But if you go out of your way to a pizza place, 9 times out of 10, unless this place is really, really good and you know it's good going into it, you're going to get a pizza that's underwhelming to you. And I feel like because people won't spend more than $15 to get a $25 pie that is much better, the competition level of pizza is low, which means that there's going to be less really good pizza places because people refuse to pay for what the ingredients and
but
the
you have
preparation
to
of the dough is worth.
Like, you have to understand people, because they'll do that with pizza and they'll do that with donuts. They won't do that with steak. Like, you'll keep paying for a better steak. You'll keep paying for a better foie gras. Like, it depends on the thing. And college football, Thomas, I came here to listen about college football. What are we doing? It's an hour and 4 minutes in, Thomas.
The show.
We talk a lot of college football.
Yeah, we talked about college football for an hour. So you can hit this. There's a convenient button that's just like rewind, or you can hit it at the beginning, and then you get a whole hour of college football.
Yeah, this is the grab ass portion. But we're actually
recreational time. We should be off the air.
It actually dovetails with college football, though. The question that was asked that got us on this topic was about college football and ticket prices, and that's the thing. We have to figure out if people feel that way about ticket prices the same way they do about donuts and pizza, or do they feel about ticket prices the way they do about steak? I suspect they feel about ticket prices the way they do about steak. Now, here's the thing. You have to keep giving them really good steak. If you don't, you can't charge more. And that is like the first comment we got yesterday when we talked about the Tennessee talent fee thing was, imagine if Florida State tried this right now. And it made us laugh, but it's also completely true. Like, if Florida State tried to raise ticket prices right now, their fans would revolt. Tennessee, meanwhile, has a 15,000 person waiting list for football season tickets. From an economics perspective, they actually should raise prices until that list reaches zero. Yeah.
So anyway, I just wish that there was better food in restaurants. And I feel like Andy, you have been very successful. You've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated a ton. You host what is the best college football podcast in America right now. Like, if you want the donut, just pay the $1.50, you get the freaking donut. Like, what are we doing?
They went out of business.
I know, because of you. It's your fault.
Yeah, I know. And that's like, there's a line in my head. This is what I'll pay for a donut. Sorry.
That's an artificial line that doesn't need to exist. We're not talking about like car payments and house payment. I mean, we're talking about $1 here.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the car payment. There's a line in my head there too. Like, that's how most of us work. So that's the problem.
Maybe that's my problem, is that line doesn't exist everywhere for me except food.
The limit does not exist. Yeah. But that's the thing with Tennessee and Danny White and what they're doing here is you have to decide, or you have to determine, I guess is the best way to say it, if this is going to be like steak or if this is going to be like donuts. And I suspect it's going to be like steak, because listen, tickets to a sporting event in today's day and age, especially a major college football game, an NFL game, an NBA game, that's a luxury item. It's not something the average person can afford. And I realize that's what bothers people about this, because you want average people to be able to afford it. But the fact of the matter is they've been priced out for quite some time. So these people are running businesses. They're going to keep raising the prices until you stop paying them. Like as soon as they make less money, the prices come down. That's all there is to it.
Yep. I'm with you.